Hello everybody, this is another boxing prediction video. Yeah, so this upcoming weekend we have a couple of fights that are pretty, exciting. I hope I hope they will turn out to be exciting and also to watch. But first, on this Wednesday, there is one fight that I would like to say something about. It's Kazuto Ioka, the champion WBO super flyweight, fighting Francisco Rodriguez Jr. Yeah, that's right. Um, yeah, just a second. Looking at Francisco Rodriguez, he's 34, 4-1 with 24 knockouts. He's been stopped once. He's 29 years of age, from Mexico. So this is actually his first real world title fight, or is it? No, actually he has fought Donny Nietes before, 2015. Wow, for the WBO light flyweight title. He lost on points, so and yeah. uh, so I guess, but he has been stopped by Roman Gonzalez. Wow. But that's no shame with 7 rounds. So we know that he is a pretty tough guy. And he does have some power. He scored 24 KOs. While Ioka, the defending champion, he is 26-2 with 15 knockouts, and he hasn't been stopped. So he is. This is his third defense of the WBO title. Yeah, alright. So, well, of course, Yoka is the favorite here, and this is, I guess, in Japan, that's right. But I think it will be a rather tough fight for both men, most likely. Yoka has, he's now 32. He also fought Donny Nietes, but he lost by a split decision, so he definitely does look. I think he is the better fighter actually. But it may be a competitive fight still. I wouldn't really bet on him stopping Rodriguez Jr. because I don't think he's that hard of a puncher. So he's only been stopped by one of the hardest ones, that is Chocolatito Gonzalez, of course. So I have Yoka winning on points here. Yep. Alright, then we go to the weekend, Saturday. And we got Mauricio Lara versus Josh Warrington. Wow. Another hotly anticipated fight, also in Leeds. So, will Warrington get his revenge? That's a big question. Yeah. But maybe before I go to that fight, let's take another one that is on that same card. It's Conor Ben versus Adrian Granados. Some would say Granados. Yeah, so this is a really quite a big test for Conor Ben. So far he hasn't fought really so many. I mean, he's hardly fought anyone that is really, that tough or world class like Granados. So for Ben, he's 24 now with 18 and 0 with 12 knockouts. This will be the major test, and this guy Granados is 21, 8 and 3, but only one knockout loss, which was to Danny Garcia in 2019. Many of his losses they were to world-class fighters like Sean Porter, Adrian Brown, or Danny Garcia, or Batista Jr. All those except Garcia loss, he gave them a really good hard fight. Those yeah those guys. Yeah, so I don't know really. The only question is how much he's got left after all those fights, and he's now 32, so no, not exactly a young man, especially compared to Ben. And let's see, yeah, actually Granados is 1 inch taller than Ben, but that should not play any difference. Um, yeah, of course, Conor Ben is the favorite to win, but I can see everything happening. Yeah, whatever. So uh, yeah, I mean, I think the most likely scenario is that Ben he perhaps gets rocked a cup once or twice, but he should win. He should be able to win, but on points. Because I don't think he's so hard hitting that he could, take out a guy like Granados. He does have some power, of course, but he's more like a kind of perhaps a cumulative puncher than a really big heavy puncher. Alright, so I think Conor Ben will win on points also. And then Mauricio Lara versus Josh Warrington. Yeah. So this is of course the rematch, and what else to say? I mean, Lara is now the champion. Or actually, he's not. Yeah, that's true. That was not. Title fight actually. Wow, I thought it was, but no, I forgot. Sorry. Um, yeah. So Warrington was stopped for the first time in his career, and he also lost for the first time as a pro last. Actually, that was in February this year. That's right. That was some fight, but Lara was simply able to top everything that Warrington had to give, and he was very effective in punching, counter punching, countering Warrington's offense, and he's simply a pretty, hard hitting guy, like, and a warrior. This guy, I mean, both are warriors, but Warrington, of course, just doesn't have the punch. He's rather fair fisted, or he can stop you if he like lands, a lot of punches, really over several rounds, But usually he doesn't win by a knockout. He had that one kind of really weird stoppage in the second round against that French guy. But that was, yeah, that was bullshit, more or less. A much weaker opponent. Anyway. So yeah. This fight, I guess, will prove, whether Warrington was just having a bad night or whether Lara really has his number, And Lara actually came in looking pretty, confident. Everybody's saying, "Oh, he's a lot more confident now," but I thought he looked pretty confident that night too, coming in. So he produced a really good performance, and yeah, he stopped a really tough guy. But will that happen again? Perhaps not. Maybe I think this time Warrington will try to box more and stay on the outside perhaps a bit more. And that's not his usual game. I don't know how well he can do by just boxing on the outside, but I think now he has learned that he cannot just do the same with this guy that he did with the others before, and that's just kind of overpowering him with non-stop furious assault. Yeah, so he will have to have a little bit different game plan, definitely, because he was just throwing as usual, just throwing too much, being too reckless. He wasn't thinking about the defense very much. He will have to anyway play, more defense, he will have to have a better defense on that night, definitely, yeah. So if he does manage to do that, and he manages to kind of land enough punches, it doesn't matter whether it's, you know, who wins more rounds, but if he does win like enough rounds, 5 or 6, he can get the decision because it's in his hometown, of course. And Lara will have to simply dominate like he did last time to win, and maybe also stop him again, you know, because if he just wins many rounds but doesn't score any knockdowns or doesn't stop him, he might find himself on getting screwed by the judges. I think it will be a little different maybe fight than the last time. At least a little different. I hope so for Warrington's sake. Because if not, it's not gonna last much longer, than the last one. So yeah, there you have it. That's this week's boxing predictions. Alright, you can now follow me on Twitter and on Facebook, of course. I got my boxing group, which is called Boxing Haven. Alright, until the next time, bye bye.